assurances from Kabul. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Tahir Andrabi told reporters in Islamabad that Pakistan will respond to any provocation, but noted that the situation along the border remains calm for the time being. The announcement comes just a week before a new round of peace talks set to take place in Istanbul on November the 6th, with Turkey playing a key mediating role. And also in a related statement, Pakistan's foreign ministry has said that it hopes for a positive outcome from the upcoming dialogue. Let's take a listen into it.
Pakistan would continue to remain engaged in the mediation process and hope for a positive outcome for the 6th November talks. Pakistan highly appreciates the constructive role of brotherly countries of Qatar and Turkey. They've been making their best efforts for an amicable and peaceful resolution of the issue.
We are now joined by Major General Dr. Rajan Kochhar. He is a senior strategic and defence expert, and he joins us live from New Delhi. Dr. Kochhar, thank you very much for joining us here on the programme. Now, this ceasefire between Pakistan and Afghanistan has been suspended after those talks fell through last time. Even though those talks came to no avail, surely it is a positive sign that this ceasefire has indeed been extended until those talks once again in the Turkish city on November the 6th.
See, the Pakistan-Afghanistan relations cannot be viewed from the prism of only Pakistan alone. You have to see that what are the differences of opinion between those two. This ceasefire, whether it is holding or not holding, is not important because it is a very fragile kind of arrangement. Because what has to be seen is that Pakistan's main concern is support of Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan by the Taliban leadership, giving them sanctuaries in their own country. And Pakistan is very clear that they will not tolerate this kind of interference into their internal affairs by Tehrik-e-Taliban, who is being supported by Taliban. So now there is a disagreement to this because Taliban maintains that they are not providing any kind of help or support to the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan. So now, in case you want to have a ceasefire or you want to have an agreement, the first aspect is you got to have a monitoring mechanism in place. And who is going to be part of the monitoring mechanism? Is it going to be Turkey? Is it going to be Qatar? Or is it going to be an agency of the United Nations? So this has to be decided first, because these ceasefire talks are failing again and again. For one important reason, you have to understand what the Taliban is trying to tell Pakistan is that Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan is not an integral part of Taliban. So it is not possible for Taliban to exert control over them, because even if they tell them to stop, will they stop? Point number one. Point number two is that if you would actually seen when the Russians were in Afghanistan and later on the Americans came to Afghanistan, it was the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan which was supporting the Talibanis from Pakistan and providing them all kind of bases in Pakistan, and also material support and weapons and ammunition, etc. So there are very strong brotherly links between Taliban and Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan. So I don't think it will be possible for the Taliban to sever these links. The third important aspect is, and we have to understand the demographic part of it. There are 17.5 million Pashtuns who stay in Afghanistan. Practically 42% of the population of Afghanistan is Pashtuns. In Pakistan, there are 40 million Pashtuns who are residing in either Khyber Pakhtunkhwa or Baluchistan, and they comprise almost 18% of the population of Pakistan. So if we add these two, we are talking about a sect of people who are 58 million strong and who have been divided by an imaginary line which was established by the British. The bone of contention is this Durand line. And when brothers and sisters will be separated by a line and you start fencing it and you started having resource control there, checkpoints there, you start having crossings there, and there are 18 checkpoints all along this 2,640 kilometers border. It is the longest border which Pakistan has, even longer than the India-Pakistan border. So we are looking at a lot of issues which are still not being discussed, not being talked. So my analysis here is that no ceasefire, even if it takes place between Pakistan and Afghanistan, is going to last for long, because unless you sit down and sort out point number one, Durand line. Point number two, Afghanistan is laying claims on Khyber Pakhtunkhwa as part of Afghanistan, and it's calling it a greater Pashtunistan. So that is also a point of view contention. And the third important and the most important is there are a large number of refugees, Afghanistanis, who are staying in Pakistan. And last year, Pakistan had sent back almost 2 to 3 of them. And still 7 to 8 lakh refugees are residing in Pakistan. And the Pakistan Foreign Minister, Defense Minister has made a statement that we are going to identify these refugees and we are going to evict them back to Afghanistan. So once you create this kind of an environment or of distrust and this kind of environment that you want to send back those people who have absolutely no home because they are refugees. They don't have any home in Afghanistan. That's why they've come to Pakistan. So these 3-4 issues, I think, because unless you sit down and work out a mechanism and also a monitoring mechanism which has to be acceptable to Afghanistan and which has to be acceptable to Pakistan, this monitoring mechanism, who is going to ensure that there are no Taliban, Tehrik-e-Taliban terrorist camps in Afghanistan? Who's going to ensure that from where the weapons are coming?
Yes.
Who's going to ensure that these people are being pushed in from that side? So I think it's a very, very complex situation. It's not a very easy truce to actually get about this peace deal, as you keep on saying nowadays. I don't think this peace deal is going to fructify until the basic and the larger differences are addressed.
Yes, and Dr. Kachar, Pakistan's main demand, of course, is for Afghanistan to stop using militant groups in its territory. How realistic is Kabul's ability to comply with this, given the internal power dynamics of the Taliban right now?
A very good question, because I don't think Taliban will be able to enforce it. And even if Taliban wants to enforce it, do you think that it's going to kill its own brothers to enforce it? Because what we have seen is that within Taliban also, there are 2 or 3 splinter groups, and at times they don't see eye to eye with each other. They have differences of opinion in different areas. They have got their own dominance. Like if you see on the border, on the northern side and on the southern side, there are different groups. Towards Kandahar, you will find a different set of Taliban people onto the other side or the north side, again, there'll be different set of people. So it is because you have to understand that this is not like a regular army. These are tribes who have been formed into a fighting force and who have been given weapons. So they don't have that kind of internal discipline as if a commander says and if passes an order that this has to be implemented, it will be implemented. So these are the problems Taliban is going to face, even if Pakistan tells the Taliban and even if Taliban agrees to implement these things on ground will be very, very difficult for Taliban. And now you are also telling them that you control the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan, which is an outfit which is not a part
Yes.
of Taliban and who have their own independent ideology, who have their own independent way of functioning. So I don't think it is going to happen this way, which Pakistan wants it to happen.
Yes, Dr. Kachar, pleasure to get your insight on that topic. Thank you very much for taking the time. We will, of course, bring you all the future developments leading up to those talks in Istanbul on November the 6th. But next, moving over to Europe, and the head of the security service of Ukraine, Vasyl Malyuk, has said that Ukraine has successfully hit 160 Russian oil and energy facilities so far this year. Malyuk added that Ukraine struck a total of 20 Russian energy facilities in September and October combined. And this comes as earlier Russia launched an overnight attack on the northeastern city of Sumy. The National Emergency Services stated that the strikes damaged a multi-story residential building, private homes and critical infrastructure, injuring 11 people, including 4 children. Local authorities also reported damage to a railway depot where several carriages were destroyed. Okay, we move on now, and Singapore police seize over $115 million in assets linked to British Cambodian tycoon Chen Zi. Authorities launch a coordinated operation across multiple locations island-wide, targeting Chen and his associates for allegedly money laundering and forgery. Police confiscate 6 prosperities and freeze financial assets, including bank accounts, securities and cash, with a total estimated value exceeding $115 million. Chen Zi faces accusations of operating forced labour camps in Cambodia, used as centres for multi-billion-dollar scams. The Singapore police warn of continued enforcement actions against individuals involved in serious financial crimes, emphasising zero tolerance for illegal activities. Well, that's a wrap on Primetime Asia today.